Yeah.
Oh.
Hello? 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 Hello, hello, hello. Hello. I don't know if the mic's working.
Okay. Should we ask? Do you want to ask? Should we ask?
Mr. Chapin.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if the mic is working or not. Like, I can hear myself in the headphones, but I don't know. I just wait. And
I don't know either. Have you changed anything since?
no.
If you have one of your friends here, whisper into the microphone.
I can hear you here. But like it's on mute and I can still hear myself.
Well, when it's unmuted, then it should be fine.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Where did you plug the headphone in?
Here.
Yeah. Good.
Let me just see if this is the right. Oh wait, this might not.
I think the sound is coming from the stage.
I think so too.
What's that other input?
Hello?
So yeah, it's the
Did you ever
Hello?
today? guys. So basically right now this is the Sustainability Fashion Club show, and it's happening in the school center right now, and currently we have Ava and Lanier introducing the show.
So right now we are recognizing Sophia and Maria, who created a line of sustainable fashion clothing.
Excited to show you all these amazing pieces.
And it is beginning right now. We have Natalie Balut.
And designed by one of the speakers tonight, Natalie Balut.
This outfit is designed by Natalie Blue, one of the speakers tonight.
Upcycled and handcrafted pieces of wearable art.
This is an upcycled and handcrafted piece of wearable art.
Vanity Fair and the Evening Standard. And it's also been worn by celebrities like Dua Lipa and Winnie Harlow.
It has been worn by celebrities like Dua Lipa.
This second outfit is quite different from the last one, very focused on bagginess, some pants and a top matching with it.
It allows for much movement and is very sustainable.
This one seems much more for spring or summer, as it doesn't have a jacket like the previous one, and again, very flowy, lots of movement in the pants.
This next outfit can work for springtime, fall. It is jeans with a top and a jacket on top.
Very cool tone, so different color scheme from the previous ones.
Here we have a very flowy dress with one sleeve and one open arm.
It seems like it's some sort of patchwork or some kind of mix of different fabrics, which definitely ties into this element of sustainability and upcycling different fabrics from previous outfits.
This next outfit, a dress, holds colors of white, black, and gray.
And there's some sort of sequins on it, giving a different kind of texture compared to the previous ones.
The next outfit we have coming up is a very casual fit that you can wear most of the time.
Seems very simple with some jeans, a coat on top.
The colors work really well together.
Round of applause, please. Thank you.
That is the end of Natalie's line.
Okay, so as we wait for the next looks, we wanted to know this week in the high school with Earth Week. So far we've
And
had
this week,
a
just to
special
mention,
year
is
social
Earth Week.
Council, a movie night, a clothing swap, a book
We've
swap,
had many
and
events
we've
such
also
as
had
a
our
book swap, a
volunteer
movie
day.
night, community volunteer
Next
days.
up, we have brands from Levante.
Next up we have brands from
And also
Levante.
supported clothes from our very own theater department.
We also have clothes from our own theater department.
And strong movements. And empowers animal-friendly usages. It's 100% vegan wallets, bags, shoes, and more.
These clothes are 100% vegan.
Biodegradable products.
They use eco-friendly, biodegradable products.
Vogue, The Independent, Mary Claire, and more pristine publishers.
So in this section, we're probably going to see more bags, more accessories, and that sort of element of fashion. As we can see, there's a bag here, very simple, very simple in terms of color. And now we have a bit of a pop of color with that purse, you know, some pink to add to the more dark theme of the outfit.
Definitely something you take out.
Next, again, a very similar kind of coordination with a purse and a coat on top, but except this time we have a pair of pants with some very simple sandals, it seems like.
This next outfit holds the purse like a tote. It works really well with the color scheme of the outfit and is definitely something that can hold a lot.
This next next outfit seems a little bit more patterned, as the bottom seems like more of like a pencil skirt with a very vibrant colored pattern and a backpack that matches the blue element of the skirt.
We have a round of applause for our models. Thank you.
And that is the end of that section of the fashion show.
We want you to know that the book swap and clothes swap are still happening.
The book swap and clothes swap are still happening. The book swap in the high school library.
We also are having our vegan bake sale.
Clothing swap is right outside the high school office. There's also a vegan bake sale happening this Friday. If you would like to support any of these causes, please ensure to show up and show your support.
Come to talk about vegan.
And finally, we have our last items. So next up, we have another clothing brand by Natalie Blue.
There's another clothing line by Natalie Balut.
8 blends the worlds of activewear and everyday fashion.
This line is called 8.
8 blends the worlds of activewear and everyday fashion. The brand uses the symbol of infinity to represent the cycle of circular fashion and sustainability. The foundation of 8 lies.
This outfit works really well together. The top really contrasts with the pants.
Very simple outfits, it seems more everyday, considering the jeans, the t-shirt, very simple, very casual. I think I would wear this outfit on a normal day out, honestly, like now since it's getting warmer. Well, not specifically right now because it is quite cold this week,
Right.
But as spring comes in, I think these outfits could really work as everyday outfits.
I would definitely wear this outfit more often if the weather was nicer. This next outfit looks like the perfect summertime outfit.
Yes, definitely. And considering the fact that it is sustainable and that it's most likely upcycled, I'm really surprised by how good the quality is. And yeah, if I didn't know it was a sustainability show, I probably wouldn't be able to tell that it's upcycled. So really good job on that.
Yeah, these outfits work so well. It's so hard to tell that they have come from many generations of outfits before. They look like new modeled wear.
I really like how the last outfit contrasted with the one before it, considering the colors and the different bottoms, the styles.
This outfit looks like something I would definitely wear to the gym.
Much more athletic wear.
Showcasing the many styles that 8 has to offer. Of this collection. Now we have special designer Charlotte Avery.
She's the special featured guest for today.
And that consists of the end of our webinar portion. Thank you to all of our students who helped on and off stage. Hit all the models in a second once they're ready. Come on stage.
Now all the models will be coming on stage to showcase all of them at once, as this marks the end of this section.
Here come the models returning to the stage to showcase their outfits and give one final bow.
It's definitely interesting to see all of them lined up together. I think despite the fact that all the pieces are really different, I think the color scheme is very cool toned, which I think ties it all together really well. I see a lot of grays, a lot of whites, a lot of navies or blacks.
You can definitely see how many different types of clothing styles you can create with upcycled clothes.
Who's an expert on sustainable fashion and founder of Everyday Phenomenal. Alongside her is Natalie Balut, an esteemed designer of sustainable fashion and the founder of brands Natalie Balut and 8. Let's welcome them both to the stage.
Next we have the speakers, the creators of these fabulous sustainable lines.
So, you know, just to kind of look back on what we just saw in the past, you know, fashion shows with the models and their different outfits, I think, as I said earlier, definitely there's a tie in that color scheme and having that chic black, gray, white scheme going on. I think that was really nice. Personally, I really love rather than warm tone colors, I prefer cool tone in my outfits, so I think this one really spoke to my preference in fashion, but yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that statement. I think the cool tone colors work so well, especially for the London vibes that we're getting currently. And I think a lot of the options that we have for spring and summer are clearly presented in this show, and I think it works really well with the entire line. I really like how some of the outfits contrast between a nice and flowy dress that you could wear out in the summer to something more casual that you could wear right now, such as jeans and a top with a nice hoodie. It's hard to believe that all of these clothing pieces are upcycled.
Yeah, definitely. And I feel like there's a nice range of, as you said, flowy versus, you know, there's a different type of look to each of them, and I think towards the beginning there's a lot of flowy pieces, which was really nice because considering the season right now, I think flowy clothing really fits with the spring vibes. So yeah, love to see that at the beginning. Personally, I think sustainable fashion is so great because obviously in modern society we're facing a lot of issues of, you know, global warming, climate change, with the overproduction and use of certain, you know, fuels and things like that. So I think being able to incorporate sustainability into fashion is such a big statement and so important for us to take a step forward into bettering our lives and the way our lifestyles right now. Yeah.
I think you summarized it up quite well, Rena. I think honestly sustainable fashion is really developed and it's really pushing us fashion forward, and it's amazing to see how so many old clothes can be upcycled and turned into something new. It really gives you some hope from many other items we have. Throughout this entire week, we have seen so many different ways that you can help the earth and how different people have helped the earth. Sustainable fashion was not one that I would have imagined, but it is definitely one of my favorites.
And I know personally that Zara, I often know that people shop there, but they usually recycle their clothes and use them to be able to create more clothes later on. So they really make sure to incorporate that element of sustainability into their brand as well. Yeah. So earlier, just a little bit ago, Natalie Blute mentioned the element of ethics when it comes to finding environmentally friendly fashion pieces and doing incorporating more sustainable ways of creating fashion and different pieces for outfits. But yeah, what do you think, Ira?
Yeah, I think honestly that whole concept of using these materials to create sustainable outfits is so interesting to me. I think the way that these designers have done it have worked so well, definitely reaching out to our high school community and proving that sustainable clothes can be very fashionable, fashion forward, and something that our society would wear.
Yeah. And earlier, I believe there was an element of having vegan-friendly pieces in their accessories, such as their bags, and I think that's really important to think about because obviously like being vegan-friendly is very sustainable, and also it proves that certain elements of the industry can definitely be avoided to better redevelop the fashion industry to be more environmentally friendly and less in decreasing animal cruelty.
Yeah, and this also shows us that these brands can be very inclusive to all, including vegans who might not have as many options for bags due to them not being vegan. But these sustainable bags help us a lot.
Exactly. So Natalie Balut just added this element of considering the influence on younger generations, and I think this sustainability fashion club show really speaks to that because obviously this is in a school environment, and so students can have access to, be exposed to this element of sustainability in fashion, and I think that's really important to influence younger generations and increase this knowledge on being more sustainable with your clothing.
Yeah, and as I mentioned before, our school has been doing so much this week for Earth Week, and sustainable fashion is just one of the many things. But as Natalie was saying, the influences that we are seeing as a younger generation who are very influential really affects us a lot. So once we see a lot of these bigger names coming out and wearing these sustainable brands, as well as many students in our environment, it inspires us and encourages us to do the same.
Should we speak? I think in this generation, I think a lot of young people are knowledgeable about thrifting, and I think that's become a really big trend recently, and I think that's definitely tied to sustainability and fashion, and I think it's such a great thing that we've been spreading as a trend because obviously through thrifting you can find so many great pieces, so many pieces from well-known brands for so little prices, and I think that's so great for not only being budget friendly for younger generations, but also to upcycle those old clothing pieces to be reused by other people.
Yeah, I would actually really like to speak on the topic of thrifting because I've heard so many people in our community have been doing that, and I think thrifting is a really good way to, spread those upcycled and sustainable clothing brands. I think having clothes that people have already worn and been through and have put in their hypothetical trash is becoming yet another person's treasure, letting them wear and rock these amazing sustainable brands.
So what I've done is I reduce brand clothes, but it's a little fashion
So, Rena, upon all the sustainable outfits we have seen, I do have a question for you. Do you think leather is sustainable?
Well, I think that kind of ties back to what we were talking about earlier with like the use of, you know, animal skin in clothing and accessories. And I think it really depends because, well, obviously vegan friendly brands are coming out and they're, you know, avoiding the use of animal products in their products. And I think, you know, leather is definitely something we should try and shy away from because there's so many more different options that I think we can get and use to give off the same kind of feel in our outfits. And I think that's something we should do to take a step forward, is try and avoid using those kind of materials and finding more different materials that are much more sustainable that can give the same effect.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that topic. Honestly, it seems kind of impossible to find clothing brands without leather, fur, silk, etc. There's so much stuff that animals give us, and it seems kind of impossible to find a lot of good and nice high quality clothes without these materials. However, I think my mind has definitely been changed after seeing this show. It shows me how many amazing outfits can be designed, stuff that I would definitely wear every day, and is all sustainable, all vegan friendly, and all free of animal cruelty.
So the two speakers were just touching upon the idea of greenwashing, which is, you know, advertising that you are being sustainable and that you are being environmentally friendly in your branding and your clothing, you know, production, but really that's just false advertising. And I think this is such a big issue that I think we as a society fail to notice, especially with bigger, more well-known brands, because they just kind of spend a lot of their money on marketing and, you know, trying to appeal that they're really environmentally friendly when really they're not in their production. So I think this is definitely an important part that this show has definitely really highlighted well.
Yes, I would definitely agree with that, Rena. I think that a lot of these brands have kind of misinterpreted their speech and their mission, because a lot of students do think that these brands will be sustainable as advertised. However, that might not be the case. So, because of this, I think brands should definitely be more open, more transparent, and I think we need to be more educationally sound and understand what brands are sustainable and what are not.
I think in terms of sustainability, I think London does a pretty good job, I would say, in terms of trying to incorporate that into our daily lives. I think there's definitely a lot of thrift stores or like secondhand stores that are very accessible for a lot of people in a lot of different neighborhoods, and I think that's definitely an important step that London as a city has taken to improve our way of living. And I definitely see a lot of people accessing these places and these shops, and I think seeing other people do that definitely makes other people more comfortable in engaging in this kind of shopping. And so yeah, I definitely think London has taken pretty good steps into incorporating sustainability into our lives through fashion.
Yes, I think the community in London has definitely shown some engagement towards the sustainable side of fashion and the fashion industry. There are many sustainable fashion brands, even in St. John's Wood, such as James Lakeland, Shush London, Square One, and many more.
And so I think what's important from now for anyone in the community, something really easy to do, is probably just be more informed about sustainability, especially in fashion. And I think, reading it, seeing it online, like these kind of things are really easy to do. And so you can quickly just you might come across an ad or something about like sustainable clothing, and kind of sharing that to other people and letting other people know about this significance of spreading environmentally friendly fashion is very important. And so there can be like magazines that you read that have a feature of like sustainable clothing, and I think those kind of things are very interesting to look at, but also they're very helpful in terms of spreading this information and knowledge to other people.
In the current generation we are living in, there are so many different ways to spread information. There's social media, magazines like Rena said, influencers, even speakers at ASL. Even ASL really helps us connect to our environment and the topics surrounding our world and culture.
So Natalie Balut just brought up the element of Vinted, which I think has definitely increased in popularity recently. I remember seeing a lot of ads about it, very spread in social media. But yeah, I saw it a lot, and I think users have increased as well since then. But yeah, what do you think, Ira?
Yeah, I think Vinted is a really incredible app used for reselling your old clothing that you are sure you will not wear anymore. I think it really gives a chance for clothes to have a second life and to have many new and interesting people expressing their true colors through old clothing.
And I think with apps like these, the really important thing or very helpful thing about these kind of apps is that they're so easy to use, and I think it's not as complex as it seems to be, and so it allows like a bunch of different users, no matter their experience with technology or their experience with secondhand clothing or sustainable fashion, it allows them to engage in this kind of environmentally friendly fashion. And I think that's really helpful for people, even if they don't have a lot of knowledge on it, to really engage in this kind of environmentally friendly practices. So yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. I think that this app, among many others, even eBay, the way that we can spread information is incredible in this day and age. Not just through social media, but also through these apps that, like Mina said, literally lay out step by step all you need to do. Super easy to use and super easy way to give your clothing a chance at another life. So, one of our speakers have just mentioned that there are some popular clothing brands that we had believed to be sustainable, however they were just greenwashing, such as Reformation. However, there are many other brands such as Primark and Zara that we know are sustainable.
And I think it's really harmful for, big brands to be greenwashing, because it's spreading this misinformation that's going across and reaching younger generations and people who aren't as informed about sustainability in fashion. And so I think seeing brands like, Primark and Zara really doing the right thing and being honest about their sustainability and actually being able to incorporate this effectively and accurately in their production of clothing is really important.
So I still think buying secondhand, even if it has a tag, is better than going to the shop. So I would say
Natalie has just mentioned that she believes buying secondhand clothing, even if it still has a tag on it, even if it is fresh and brand new, never been worn, is better than buying clothing straight from the store.
And I think I definitely agree with this statement. It's definitely important that, secondhand shopping is definitely obviously an element of sustainability, and I think despite the fact that it might be new, that the fact that someone had bought it previously but is still allowing others to have a chance at buying it again and wearing it, still has that element of secondhand, even though technically they haven't quote unquote worn it. And so I think also, I know a lot of people who actually appreciate people who do this, because they are still able to buy quote-unquote new clothes but through secondhand shops, and so they are still contributing to that element of being environmentally friendly through fashion.
This is, as Rita said, still being environmentally friendly, even though the person might not have worn the outfit ever, and that same item of clothing could still be in shops. Buying it secondhand really does help the environment, because that person who bought that outfit and was never going to wear it again might have thrown it in the trash, but now the new buyer has given it another chance to be worn. So ASL has definitely brought us an amazing Earth Week, showing us many different ways to be sustainable, this fashion show only one of them. And the reason I like this fashion show so much I think that it really incorporates our students. Showing students modeling these clothes really shows you that people in our age demographic can wear these clothes and it can be sustainable and eco-friendly.
I definitely agree with you, and I think it really shows this engagement of the ASL students and community in topics like sustainability and being environmentally friendly. And I think showing that students are willing to be engaged in activities like this lets other students who may not be as exposed to these kind of topics be more comfortable with and more intrigued as well in finding out more about sustainability in fashion. And so it's spreading, again, that notion of spreading awareness and spreading that information to others who may not be as knowledgeable about it, which is definitely an important part of school communities and what speaks to school communities and how they really do help to spread awareness about pressing issues.
I also think the aspect of the Q&A going on right now also allows students to be more open-minded, asking questions, getting answers, really learning firsthand what it means to be sustainable in terms of fashion.
I definitely agree, and I think the first half of this was just the fashion show, but then we have this element of having solely the speakers, speak out on their views and their opinions and their knowledge, and I think that's really important because, they kind of, work as the experts in the situation, and so we can avoid having misinformation being spread, and we can have people who are truly knowledgeable and have firsthand experience, as Ira said, to speak on their experiences and their knowledge of what they know and how they can inspire other younger generations at ASL about fast fashion or about sustainability and environmentally friendly fashion.
I think our school is also incorporating a lot of sustainable aspects in classroom environments as well. In terms of fashion, there is a sustainable fashion club which is putting on this show currently right now. As well as this, there's also a class called Fashion Design. In this class, they are currently doing a unit on sustainable fashion, grabbing regular clothes that they might have found in their closets, might have bought recently, and turning that into a new sustainable piece of wear.
And in the last year, there's also a unit where they travel to certain secondhand stores and thrift stores to actually purchase pieces from those stores to then use them to create physical, actual outfits out of them, which really speaks to this element of sustainability, but in a classroom environment where students can further dig deeper into this idea of environmentally friendly clothing and trying it out firsthand for themselves. So currently, there's a person in the audience who just speaks about this idea of sustainability versus high costs, and how these two elements can't coexist together at the same time, because that would influence buyers who may not have as much to spend, to be encouraged to further spend on non-sustainable and non-eco-friendly clothing items. And so I think that's an important element to highlight. But yeah, Ira, what do you think?
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think this audience member has definitely brought up an interesting point that we can all think about, whether it is sustainable fashion or how this would work economically. I think there are definitely some ways to get by this. For example, thrifting is quite economically safe, and it is quite available to everyone. So I think items like that, and Vinted as well, sells for low prices that are affordable for many. But shopping at maybe more of the sustainable brands could end up getting more expensive.
So all in all, it's important to think of the different options that you would have in terms of sustainable fashion. So for those who may want to stay on the less expensive side of things, there's always the option of secondhand and thrift stores. Very accessible and close by in a lot of different neighborhoods. I think something that's really overlooked in terms of sustainability in fashion is the element of being more environmentally friendly with accessories. I think a lot of people focus on reusing or having secondhand clothing like t-shirts or pants or skirts or dresses, but people often don't really consider doing that with accessories.
Yeah, I think accessories are very overlooked, as Rena said, such as jewelries, bags. A lot of this stuff can be part of an animal cruelty chain, such as leather bags, maybe some jewelry, and many items. So focusing on sustainable fashion as a whole, and not just items of clothing but also accessories, really brings to light how much you can really do with sustainability and fashion.
And there's also an element of tying in art and creating more bold art pieces with that tie into this theme of sustainability in fashion. So for example, there are a lot of organizations that are working to spread this information about environmentally friendly fashion through creating art. And so organizations find flip-flops that are lost in the beaches, and they gather them together to create these very intriguing sculptures, which then speaks to these themes of sustainability and fashion in a very creative way.
Yeah, I think fashion in itself is a very interesting art form. People often overlook fashion, but I think it is really an incredible way that people express themselves. Especially in school as teenagers, there are many ways that we need to express ourselves, and I think fashion is an amazing way to do so. You are able to express your personality and your true colors in the clothes you wear. And proving that these clothes can be sustainable and also help the environment while simultaneously showing off your personality is really an incredible thought.
I'm really interested in, the new fabrics, the new materials that are being used that are more sustainable. But I'm also concerned about
So I think something that is currently being asked in the audience to our speakers is the thought of fast fashion, which, if you don't know, is being produced by companies like Zara, H&M, Primark, etc., where they're introducing new clothes almost every week, and some of these factory conditions aren't doing very well. So our audience member is asking, in terms of sustainable fashion, will that also cause these workers to have to work even harder for a below minimum wage?
And I think this is a really interesting point to bring up, because it is still encompassing a part of the element of sustainability in fashion, but more on the humanity side of it. And I think considering the fact that sustainability is being incorporated in brands that have previously used fast fashion as their way of production, I think it's a really interesting thing to look into as society keeps going and developing more environmentally friendly ways of production. And so having speakers like this answer questions like that and expressing their vision of the future for fashion is really interesting and very helpful for consumers to consider and figure out the future of fashion. So one of the speakers just introduced this element of the really high percentage of women who are working in fashion producing factories, and I think that's a really interesting point to bring up because you kind of zoom into this theme of gender and how that plays a role in the fashion industry, and I think it's important to think about how that also impacts the fashion production.
Especially for a job in fast fashion, I think Aisha telling us that over 80% of the people who work in these factories are women really shows how much of a struggle that women are going through in the fashion industry, especially through sustainable fashion.
And working in these industries, the wages have consistently been quite low, and so this causes these workers to live off of very low wages, which causes a struggle economically, which ties into the concepts that we talked about earlier. And so it kind of creates this never-ending cycle of struggles that society has to face economically and in terms of fashion.
So there are many ways that fashion can tie in with the art world. Like we said before, it is definitely a very sustainable way, such as bringing in, Coke tabs, flip-flops, and much more.
We just want to say a final thank you to everyone.
Okay, our show is now wrapping up. We would definitely like to recognize the models, the designers, and the wonderful outfits that have been shown today.
And having these two amazing speakers express their views and their experiences in the fashion world in terms of sustainability has definitely been very helpful and has been a big part of this show. Thank you so much to them.
Yeah, I've definitely learned a lot more coming into the show with an open mind. I will definitely be looking into that sustainable fashion industry and world.
Sorry. Last week,
Thank you so much for watching. We're your commentators. I'm Ira.
And I'm Rena.
And one more thank you to Noel, our cameraman.